I came across this listing for film on eBay for a film called Fuji Eterna 500T. I'd never heard of this film before, and when I looked it up, there weren't really any good examples of it, so it was a bit of a gamble, but I bought it. So the storage history was unknown for the film, it wasn't cold stored, and the film has been discontinued since 2013, so it's at least 10 years old. But I shot a test roll and it actually came out pretty good. Since the film is more than 10 years old, I was a little doubtful that it would even expose well at 400, but wishful thinking got me wanting to give it a try, so I did. I normally don't really like to shoot tungsten film like Cinestill, it's like the only one, or Kodak Vision 3. I usually don't like to shoot it with an 85B filter on 35mm because it makes the whole lens orange in the viewfinder, so you can't really see that well. So I generally don't like to use it, so I shot this without a filter. So I was pleasantly surprised to see that at 400, this film actually still looks pretty good. It definitely wouldn't hurt to give it more exposure, but for 400, I think this looks okay. So for all these test shots, I did shoot +1 exposure and -1, just to see what it would look like. So from this example, I think if you rated the film at 200 or 250, you definitely get great results. But I think you could get away with shooting it at 400 normal exposure. Here's the film at -1, and it definitely starts to lose a lot of shadow detail, so it doesn't underexpose as well, but it still looks okay. So all these shots are with no filter and no white balance adjustments, and I was a little surprised that they didn't look more cyan, because I'm used to Vision 3's 500T looking very cyan when it's not filtered or adjusted, but these actually look pretty good normally. So here's the same shot again with a +1 exposure, and again, I think this one looks really good. And here's our -1 again, and these shots are looking a little dark. Still holding onto some shadow detail, but it's getting pretty underexposed. Here's a shot that I got outdoors at 400 ISO with a normal exposure, and I think this one looks fine. The flower looks a little bright, so I think if you were to go one stop higher, I think it might be too bright, so here's one where it looks pretty okay at normal exposure. Here's another one with the same settings, and it's a little on the dark side, but overall I don't think it looks too bad. Honestly, it probably wouldn't hurt to rate the film at like 320, and you'll definitely get plenty of shadow detail, but I think it still looks okay at 400. So this one is a +1 exposure, and I actually white balanced this one and adjusted the tones a little bit to kind of better see the potential of what this film could look like, and here's an example that I think shows that the film actually still looks really good. I forgot to mention earlier, but I did have the film developed in the proper ECN2 by Midwest Film Co. And I think if you're going to use cinema film, the best way to do it is develop an ECN2, and of course it will work in C41, but if you want the best results, it's going to have to be an ECN2. For this image, I actually did put on an 85B just to see what it would look like, and I think it color corrects a little better with no filter and adjusted in Lightroom, rather than putting the filter on. For this particular film, can't speak for Vision 3, I think it's a little different, and of course this film's older, but just for example, I think this film looks fine with no filter and then adjusted in post. Anyway, that is Fuji Eterna 500T, and I do like the film and I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the purchase. I bought like 560 feet and I downspooled a lot of it, so it's down to like 400 now. I gave a bunch away to people to try out, see what they thought. I actually sold a few rolls on my eBay store. If you did happen to buy some and you've got your film back yet, comment and let me know what you thought of it. If you've shot the film already prior to this video, let me know what you think of it. I personally really like it. I think it has a really cool, unique look. I like the colors. I'm happy to have a film that is very limited and exclusive if there's not much of this out there. And personally, I think cinema film looks better with the remjet. Hate on me if you want, but I think when you remove the remjet, the film images get that really soft kind of look, and the colors kind of have this weird unsaturated look to them. I don't know. Cinestill is cool, but I think it kind of ruins the image when you take away that remjet. The image quality is decreased. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you guys think of this, and we'll see you guys next time on The Negative.